right, Sherrod, and welcome to Top 3.
This is Curtis Sherrod's Top 3.
FGK, we in the building.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Party people in the place to be.
Ooh.
Welcome to the latest and the most current edition of Top 3. Now, I'm gonna let the individuals who are actually chilling, that are doing their thing,
Chilling.
that are falling back in the whip, say who they are, what they do, what we represent. Cause rumor has it, we about to get it popping. Cause we gonna be talking about that popping. Know what I mean? We gonna get it popping, talking about that popping. With that being said, young man, who are you? What you do? Talk to me. Welcome to
All right.
Top 3.
All right, thank you for having me, first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? My name, Lee Antonio Keenan, but I go by Tony Technique. That's how I'm gonna lead that. That's a lot going on.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
What is it that you're known for? What is it that you do? Why would people be interested in learning about technique? Technique in what? What's your craft? What's your thing, brother?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a dancer. It breaks down into little situations. You mean a lot of people say b-boy, but a lot of people say poppers. I'm a popper. You mean, don't get it misconstrued. That's what I do. I got the hits, I got the waves, I got the technical aspects of it. I know my ins and outs about it, but
That's beautiful what you just said, because you just mentioned a couple of moves. Can you tell me the top 3 moves someone who's proficient in popping should possess?
all right. So 3 moves, okay? You need, first off, the hits. That's muscle control, intensity. You need that. You also need, I want to throw this in, the angles, but we kind of direct that towards boogaloo.
Can you elaborate on boogaloo? Like exactly what does that mean?
Boogaloo. Okay, boogaloo was the term coined for getting down. I think this was back in the 70s or early 60s, if I'm not too sure. But the boogaloo was the get down. But what our boogaloo is, it's a sequence of moves ranging from diagonal points also to in-depth rolls and extracted angles. Third, groove, footwork stuff. You know, and I'm not talking about the ground, I'm talking about moving around, actually stepping into your motion. So I'll say groove, boogaloo, and hits. Those are the 3 things you need to be a A-class popper in any city.
How does one become dope at this? How does one go from wanting to do this to doing it?
Blood, sweat, and tears. But really, community. The community is something like when I see the youth and they're out, you know, just trying to gain information, or they're just out and about, you know, and then they see. Don't you know why when someone sees something and it's like a fire in their eye? That's what it is. That's the thing that pushes everything and elevates it, because just through that inspiration could take you on a trip to more inspiration from movement and where the movement comes from and who it comes from and what was this time era, you know. So it's a lot of ground to be discovered, you know.
Well, that's deep, because I follow you on social networking, and I noticed that you practice a lot, and I guess it's challenging to find a great place to consistently get your groove on. Why is that the case, you think?
Well, a lot of people, life comes at you, you know, you got to deal with life things, 9-to-5 jobs, so forth and so on, whatever. But spaces want money, and unfortunately in the US, art's not government funded. You mean, like overseas, you know, arts are government funded. You know, b-boys get a check or a stipend just from doing what they love to do, you know, and it's a monetary gain. But over here, we have to go through, you know, the rubble. We have to start from the bottom and then make it up. But having a place to practice is home.
What are your thoughts on the Olympic Committee considering making breakdancing something to be part of the Olympics?
Now, that is a loaded question, but I'm all for it because it's just about the exposure.
Yo, it's lit. It's happening right now.
All right, so once again, we're here talking to another individual who made that trek from Philly to be part of a dancing experience that went down in the NYC just the other day. Tell me about, why you came to town, what is it you went and came to do, and how did it turn out?
Well, why I came to town is because my older brother dragged me. He always said I need to come out to these competitions if I want to get my face noticed. That's true.
All right, so your older brother. So that makes you who? What's your name? What's
my
your
name
flow?
is Big Bad Blue, and I'm in a crew called FGK. My flow is pop.
Does the FGK stand for something?
Yeah, it stands for Funky Guns Crew.
You sure now?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what Funky Guns Crew. So talk to me about how that came about.
Well, FGK, how that came about. That guy, all right, Tony Technique is the one that started FGK, and he trained me all my life. I was under him, following every move he made until I hit 18, and that's what spread us. But I've been rocking with FGK since it started. FGK was a popping group, because there's a lot of B-boys in Philadelphia. And it's crazy because around the world, everybody know Philadelphia for breaking or something like that. Something that's it's hip-hop, but it's not our style, because we pop, we bang, we boogie, and it's more, how can I say it? We trying to get popping on the pedestal. We trying to get it shown more than the credit that we're receiving for it.
Who would you say are the top 3 current or historic dancers that you admired in Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia?
Yeah. We see your town. We're talking about the city of brotherly love. Let's give them some love.
All right, well, you got Rennie Harris. That's one. He's historic. He was the pioneer in Philadelphia for hip hop. Then you got Smart Mark. Well, Mark Boston. He's in I Am Fresh. He started his own dance company in Philadelphia, and he's new, barely new, I guess. And I think the last one I want to give it to, maybe, I think that's the only 2 I really got.
I'm gonna give it to that dude they call Technique.
Oh, Mr. Tech. My fault. You said I do apologize. Yeah. I give it to Tony Technique.
Well, that's what's up. So tell me, you're a dancer.
Yes.
What are the top 3 things you think you do best as a dancer? What separates you? What makes you nice with it?
Well, it's this thing called musicality, is knowing how to ride a beat. But the specific style is isolation, botting, and popping. That's what I'm really good at.
Break down isolation.
Isolation is isolating one part of your body. I'm not trying to do this corny behind move, but you know this thing? Mm-hmm. That's isolation. It's isolating your head from your shoulders, and it's going different ways. In a way, it's kind of like a boogaloo, but it's more stiff and robotic.
Balance. So it seems like there's a lot that goes into being a fly dancer than just having rhythm.
Yeah, gotta have a look.
Oh, okay. And what do you mean by a look?
Appearance. When someone first come across you, you gotta be able to invite them in without even saying a word, just by looking at you. Make them interested in your appearance.
Is it a great way to keep in shape, you feel?
Yes, it's an amazing way to keep in shape. It's definitely an amazing way to keep in shape, because just training, non-stop training, and you gotta keep going at it. You just can't let it go.
I go by CK. Mm-hmm. I have a new AKA by courtesy of my older brother. It's Spectastic. Slaptastic. I have C Boogie on down. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of things going on, but for the most part, Philly's own FGK member CK.
So as a popper, can you tell me records that you love to get busy on? Give me your top 3 records for you to perform on.
It's literally way too many. Because as you start loving the craft, you start loving the music that was made around it, and you start loving the journey of it. But to really think about it, the ones I love getting down to is the Cameo record, Rigor Mortis. Trying to think, because now it's like a whole pool of everybody doing everything and making all these sounds for us to get down to. I have to show love to where it originally came from. So with James Brown, my favorite song to get down to James Brown would have to be The Big Payback. And to find something that I get down to recently, trying to see if I give respect to somebody who is keeping the game alive. Kendrick Lamar's King Kuta. That's a pretty good one. And that's why I stop at 3. It's a whole list. There's way too many. And I think for people that continue the funk in multiple eras, either through the G-Funk, through hip hop, the Neptune sounds, the original neo funk, or the actual funk, the P-Funk. Man, I'm forgetting about the Parliament. I'm sorry. All respect to George Clinton, and thank you for the sound that you gave us, the Zapp and Roger sound. But those will have to be my recent top 3.
Well, you have a great comprehensive overview of music that has a wide range of taste and expertise. Can you tell me what attracted you? Like, what made you want to be a dancer?
There's a lot of things. Like, first, for me personally, my father was a dancer. I didn't know until we went down to a trip and he busted a move.
No.
Yeah, for some street performers down there. But I didn't know, like, for me, it's first blood. Secondly, you grow up, you're doing all the fad dances, everything you see on the streets, like, we doing, like, we're not supposed to, because we didn't know it was gang related. We doing a crip walk, you know what I mean? We doing a Harlem Shake. We do all these social dances, and then, you just so happen to come across this bigger picture of this bigger community, one way or another, which, all of it, technically speaking, was a social dance. It's just there's like three or four major factions of breaking, locking, popping, and whatever he wants to throw in their housing. There's so many other styles, and regional, and that's recognized worldwide. But yeah, for like me, it started from the fad dances to you seen in movies, you seen certain people actually showcase just a little bit, and then you think about, okay, like what the hell did that person just do? Like, that were they aliens? Like, how did they make their body do that? And then when you listen to the music, or you understand the music, or you dance for so long, you start to try to imitate, but then certain things start making sense. But until most recently, because I thought I was a popper for like a while, and that's after I saw the movie Breakin'. Of course, that's a lot of people's gateway, like Breakin' and Beat Street. Well, I mean, you're talking to a very serious youngin' who barely like watch all that stuff. But for cats like me in my scenario, because I was born in '94, so like I say, cats who probably like 2 to 5 years older than me, they probably had a bigger avenue. But however we got to it. But for me, it still came down to ultimately knowing that something like this existed and the community like this existed, and there's way more information than that meets the eye. And then I just so happened to come across The Gathering, one of the greatest Philly movements of all time. And I got
What is The Gathering?
Oh, The Gathering, from what I understand, is a hip hop hub, sanctuary for all types of dancers, MCs, graffiti artists, anybody who practices disco jockeys, DJs. They all get down, and we all get to share in the beautiful art that is hip hop. Whatever coast, wherever styles we practice, from the West Coast styles to the East Coast styles, we bring it all together, and we invite everybody to come down to Philly. So that's traditionally it's every last Thursday of the month. It's unfortunate to say it's not as strong as it used to be, but you know, the love and the passion is still there. Like the fire will never die out. But yeah, that's in a nutshell the gathering. But you know, that's where I experienced popping, and that's where I experienced my OGs, my brothers forever, my brothers in this funk style, and I've made friendships and connections throughout all styles and throughout regions of the city and probably throughout the tri-state area, and hopefully it can still grow to what, you know, the stories used to be, because you know I missed out on the heyday, but you know it's a new age. Like you know, my brothers were speaking about before. It's a new age, it's a new style, and you know how they intermingle will, you know, yet to be seen.
What do you think makes a Philadelphia dancer tick? Like, can you look at a person and be like, that's that Philly right there?
Philly does have a certain swag to us. You know, we have a spoken and unspoken rivalry between, you know, us in New York and any people in like the tri-state, or you know, 5 to 20 miles away from us. A lot of people, you know, does not give credit to Philly for what we do. But you know, Philly has its own, you know, it has its like, you know, cheesesteak. It has its John type of flavor to it. So you know, you know when you see it, it's different, it's raw, and that's, I mean, for one thing, that's the one thing you could definitely say outside of any other city, you know, that might have their own definition of raw. When you see Philly's rawness, you know what it's about.